Can you tell the difference between the before and after? The changes are very subtle, but I think anyone can benefit from this brow tip. So you definitely want to stick around, and I'm going to show you the difference I made. Hey everybody, it's Jasmine, your brow expert. And I call myself a brow expert because I've been shaping eyebrows for over 25 years at the Anastasia salon in Beverly Hills, and I'm still there shaping brows, by the way. My clients call me their brow expert, and I hope to be your brow expert if I'm not already. So definitely subscribe, pass along some of these or all the videos to anyone you know can benefit from these tips. That's what this channel is all about. It's all about brow tips and giving you the best or getting the best eyebrow that you can possibly get for your brow shape. It's not about getting the best perfect eyebrows because there's no such thing. I have an old brow tattoo, so I also touch on that on some of my other videos, so you may want to check that out. But this video is just a short, quick little video about how to get a brow lift and how to get the easiest way to get a fuller brow. So stick around and let's get to the model. She has beautiful eyebrows, obviously, right? But what you don't know is that she's got a very strong brow bone, small eyelid space. Her eyes are closed for her privacy. But up here is where I'm going to mainly focus on. So if you have this type of brow where you like your shape, but you find yourself feeling like you can use a lift, right? That's why I made this video, because although I touch on this on the other videos about giving yourself a brow lift, the sun's coming out, which is why my I'm looking a little off here right now. This is what I want you to try as well. So this is something that I think anyone can use because it's going to create a fuller look without changing your brow shape. That's really important. That's why I love doing these brow tutorials, not to change your brow shape, but to enhance it. Okay, so right here, I'm just pointing out there's a little bit of tattoo ink that she has. A couple of my videos, I've talked about brow tattooing, so definitely visit that as well. So I like that she has that ink up there because if she didn't have that, her brows would be further out here. So that's something you might want to think about, just doing that little area. So that's why it looks a little bit more balanced up here. Again, look at the before. Imagine if she didn't have that. And if you don't have it, you don't have time or the resource to get that ink done, that's why you just want to be mindful to go forward a little bit. Okay, so up here, I'm using a Brow Wiz pencil. You can use a powder. I find that pencils are always a little easier. Okay, so as you can see right here, I'm just going above. Now, I'm laying the pencil quite a bit, which is why I like for you to see me as well. I'm laying the pencil because it allows you to apply less pressure. So I always talk about that. Right up here, now say you don't have ink up in the front and you want to go, look at this. I'm just doing these little circles. That way it doesn't get too dark. The circles laying the pencil down allows you to apply less pressure. So above only. I love this look. Look at the before and after just on the face, right? This is where I feel like anyone can do this, right? And as you're maturing like myself, it always adds a little bit more benefit to add that lift. And just by applying color above the brow line does that. So try it out. Pause this. Do this with me and you'll see, wow, she is right. My brows look fuller. I have a brow lift. That is why brow lift focusing above is so important. So again, right here, again, if you're doing your other side of the eyebrow and you're right-handed, this is what you want to do is just go above the brow line and following your natural shape. Now, when you do this, you might find yourself not doing a great job, but you're like, okay, well, I went above. So I did what she said, but now it just looks a little off. Don't worry about that because you guys always see me using the brush 18 as well, right? And a little bit of highlighter will help you adjust that. So, and obviously you can see that one side I did put a tiny bit higher. You know, also her bone shape is a little different. That way, I'm telling you this because that way you'll know, oh, it's not just me. So highlighter and concealer above, highlighter above and below really does help in making those adjustments. So if you apply some highlighter here above the brows, that is where you're going to make or finish your adjustment. And I show you this all the time. But by the way, I'm going to just say this again. She has really no color down below here. It's just above the brows. So this is the time to shape. This is the time to make sure that you're like, oh, it's too high up. Then just apply the brush and the concealer. Now, when I do this above the brow line, the bone and the shape kind of glides the brush and shows me. Obviously, you don't want to take off everything you did, but just notice what you're doing. You want to do this, look at me, and then you're going up to the temple, so that way you don't flatten the arch. Of course, we all know where it is now, right? Middle of the nostril, over the iris, in an angle. You guys know this is your arch now, right? Because you've been subscribing. You see all my videos. And if you're more on the mature side, you can go a tiny bit further out. Gives you more of a brow lift. I make this a big deal now. I'm trying to make this a big deal, is mentioning the brow gel. The brow gel, I don't have any hair. That's why I have the old tattooing. She does have hair, obviously. The brow gel is going to just keep the hair up, do a comb over, doesn't show up, as you can see right here, she doesn't look like she's heavily penciled in, but there is a little bit more balance. You know what? I also want you to look at this real quick. One of her eyebrows where she's got that little piece of hair, which I should have trimmed for the video, but you might be wondering, she's got that little hair coming out here. Yes, that could have been either tweezed or trimmed. Look at the difference, even just the before. Now, the before, the reason why that side looks a little lower is because her brow bone kind of comes down like mine. And her hair doesn't stick straight up like the other side. That's why it looks like it's giving you a lift. Again, I'm pointing this out because this might be you, so you're not the only one. I hope the lighting didn't distract you. And the point that I want to try to make is just going above the brow line. Now, again, I said the pencil is fine. You can also obviously use a brush. Brush for some of you might be easier because you can just kind of glide it this way. And again, the reason why I want you to see me as well as a model is that I want you to see how you're holding the tools. And I always say this, I drive this home as much as I can, is to lay the pencil down. I never do this on myself. Even with the brush, I never do this, because especially with the brush, because the brush is angled and flat, right? If you lay it flat, you're gonna spray out the the brush hairs, right? So try to always keep the brush laying down. If you're using the brush and powder and you're just applying color above the brow line, then you're just laying it down, right? That way you're just getting it right where you want it to, and you're not flaring out the bristles. Very important. The pencil I like because there's a little bit more control. I mean, you could have probably really good control with the brush. You might be really good at it. But the pencil just, and you're not doing one continual line. Remember that. Because if you do this, one continual line, you're gonna bounce, right? So, and I think most of you guys know just to kind of do these scratch-like motions. Don't worry about getting it perfect, you guys. You're getting it just above your natural brow line. The adjustment comes afterwards with that brush 18. Where is that? With that brush 18. And you're just kind of gliding it, and treat this brush with the highlighter or concealer as an eraser, and practice at this. It's just makeup. You can start over if you're practicing. If you're doing this and then you have to go out, then use a lot of spoolie brush to kind of tone everything off or rub it all off. Anyway, but you know what? Just going a shy above makes a big difference. So try that out. Let me know if you tried it out. Share this with anyone that you know can benefit from this tip. Obviously, I would love it if you subscribe, because then you get my latest video every week. So I'll see you guys next week. Thank you.